as more time goes on, it feels like it's more and more inevitable, and I'm just not ready for it.
My immune system is basically an overachiever. Guilt and stress will do far more damage than chocolate cake will ever do. And yes, I feel frustrated. Yes, I want to cry about it. Am I going to? Maybe, but not today. Not today.
Man or woman to pump me up. Feeling fussy, walking in my Balenciagas, trying to bring out the fabulous.
Yeah, I'm addicted to that song. That is definitely going to be my karaoke song of choice from now on. Hello guys, how are we? It's looking a little bit bright. Oh, I can see all Josh's mess here. You're just gonna have to excuse it. If I can tell you, it has gotten so cold in the UK in the last couple of weeks. I can't believe it. I've gone up 3 puffer levels in terms of puffer jackets. This is my unofficial grading of how cold it is. I'm now at the puffer jacket that I was wearing in Iceland in winter to keep me warm in the morning. But anyway, hello, welcome to this video. I am just in a really chatty mood. I feel like I have 1,000,000,001 things going on in my brain. So many things I want to chat to you guys about. I will probably remember absolutely none of them. But I thought I'd just switch the camera on and say hello to you guys, get this video started at least. It is, what day is it? Thursday. It's Thursday the 29th of September. And I spent the morning working in a cafe with my friend Lizzie and my other friend Tristan. It's been really good recently. I've been absolutely loving coaching so much. I mean, I've always enjoyed it, but at the moment I'm just loving it so much. I'm enjoying all the business side of my business and doing all the admin, paperwork, creating resources. I've made space for the new group coaching, like all of that stuff. I'm just so excited about and having so much fun. And it's always really funny with my work because there's this balancing act of the social media content creation side, which I go through phases of being really, it's not even motivation, it's more the self-confidence and like backing myself. And then basically that self-doubt just kind of holds me back a little bit. And then putting as much energy as possible into my coaching and business side of it, which is the main part of my business. So that is where the energy needs to go. But it's always a really big balancing act that I'm trying to play. But the other thing that I always find challenging is that because I'm self-employed, because I work alone, I could easily go days without seeing another human if I didn't make an effort to. And so often I would go and work in cafes, or I'll go and work in a co-working space or something like that. But I have very few friends who do a similar job to me. I have a few who I speak to remotely because obviously they live all over the world, but no one really in the vicinity. And it's not even about bouncing ideas off each other or anything like that. It's just about having the companionship of having someone there. And I don't need it most of the time, but sometimes it's just nice to have. And so I'm really happy that my friend Lizzie is back for a few months in the UK, and we've basically just been co-working in cafes and just sitting there. Like we just sit at a table with our headphones in, but even that alone, it just feels really nice to have someone there. So on the back of that, I've just been super productive, which is amazing. And because of that productivity, I've been working really hard on building the group coaching back again. So I'm going to be opening group coaching again, which is super exciting. And I've changed the structure. So I'm going to be doing some webinars, and that's going to be awesome as well because I really enjoy presenting. And not only do I enjoy presenting, but I enjoy working on my presenting skills because, as you guys know, for me, I always want to work on my communication and make sure that I am always improving. And so that is a perfect way for me to improve as well. So I'm super stoked about that. And then there's just lots of other stuff going on in the background. I'll probably try and fill you in at some point. You'll see it when it happens. But anyway, yeah, I've just been loving the work in that regard. But I think with videos and content creation and stuff, like I've been doing them still for sure, but I've just been having a little bit more self-doubt. And then the other thing is that I went on holiday to Mallorca. It was a really last minute trip. My friend had already organized it with one of her friends and they'd booked where they were staying and everything like that. And they asked me to come and I wasn't going to. And then they just kept asking and asking. And eventually I crumbled and I was like, okay, what dates are you going? And so I went with them to Mallorca, and honestly, I'm so glad I did. It was exactly what I needed. It was so nice to be on like a little vacay where I could do a bit of work, but but I was with people who kind of matched my energy level in terms of what they enjoy doing and the amount of activity they like to do day to day. So we had a really good blend of going out on hikes, being able to lay on the beach, playing card games on the balcony in the evening, and just super, super chill. But the other aspect is that they are like super, super cardio endurance girls, and I am not. And so they wanted to do a really long cycle one day, which was I think like 90 kilometers. And I was like, yeah, I don't even know how to use, what do they call them? I don't even know what they're called. Wait, I do. Cleats on bicycles? I think it's cleats. But I don't know how to ride a road bike, for example. So I was like, you girls go and do that. That's what they'd initially planned for their holiday. And then I will keep myself occupied. So what I actually chose to do is I did a scuba diving qualification. And I really, really loved it. I enjoyed it so much. But, because you know there's a but coming, I am me. I am clumsy. I am silly. And I don't look after my back in the best way, considering it's injured. And on the first dive that I did, I jumped into the pool with all the gear on, which is what you're meant to do. But obviously the gear went up because it was buoyant. I went down because my body is heavier, and my spine went, and suddenly the pain in my back was back. And it's been so good for so long. Obviously it got bad after, when was it? Edinburgh. Gosh, it feels like such a long time ago now. And it's been up and down ever since. But when I went to Mallorca, it was feeling pretty good. And like, to the point where I could go and train Cali. I wasn't having pain on a daily basis. I did a couple of 8K runs, no problem. And then I jumped in for this dive, and I was in the water and I was like, oh no, what if my back is kaput? And I was like moving my legs. I was like, okay, well, my legs move, so that's always a positive. And I was like paddling around the pool, but obviously you're buoyant, so you're weightless essentially when you've got scuba diving gear on. And I was freaking out. And then when I got out, I was like, okay, I can move. But I definitely aggravated the injury. And it's not so much the disc, like obviously it is the disc that's injured that's causing all of this. It was more the sciatica this time. So I've had really bad sciatica in my left side again for the last, I think it's been about a month since I got back. And it's being a really, really slow recovery. I'm probably not helping it. I should probably do a bit more stretching. I should probably be a little bit more mindful of it, but I'm also really stubborn and kind of silly. So I do clumsy things, and I've still been doing a little bit of training just for, honestly, the social aspect of it, just being out the house, training with others. But I am trying to be really sensible and just not go too hard. Oh my gosh, this is turning into a total TED talk. I'm so sorry. This is what I mean. I'm just like in a really talkative mood. But anyway, that is where I'm at. And then in terms of the back injury, it's just adding a little bit to the self-doubt in terms of creating content, because I can't really exercise or progress my exercise. I'm just sort of maintaining, or as AT would say, doing the minimal effective dose at the moment. And I'm just trying to maintain my strength as much as possible. But, you know, this is a long journey, and I think it took me a little while to come to terms with this new round of the injury, because I felt like for a good year and a half, I had it really well controlled, and I was on the road to avoiding surgery. Now, I'm not saying I'm gonna have surgery, but I feel like as more time goes on, it feels like it's more and more inevitable, and I'm just not ready for it. But anyway, I've got to think about my future, and I've got to think about how I want to feel in 5, 10, 15 years time. And realistically, you know, 6 to 12 weeks of recovery now will just be an absolute blip, you know. I've got to take my own advice. I say this to you guys all the time in terms of weight loss, you know, what feels like a long time now or a big deal now will be nothing in the future. You'll barely remember it. You know, even like my weight loss, I was talking to Josh about it the other day, and I was just thinking about it. It feels like a lifetime ago, and almost like a blur. And at the time it felt obviously very, very different. It's just crazy how things change like that. So that's where I'm at in terms of my health. That being said, I am gonna go to the gym this afternoon, and I'm gonna try and do just like a basic Cali sesh. So a couple of dips, some pull-ups, negatives, pull-up negatives, let's just say that. Some push-ups, probably some handstands, just that sort of stuff, all the basics, nothing too crazy. What else do I have to update you on? So, my skin. Oh my gosh, my skin has been a nightmare. My face especially has been flaring up so sporadically. Like yesterday, awful. It was all around my eyes, literally all around here, in my eyebrows, all around my ears, like up here, on my neck. It is all around my hairline. Honestly, I don't know what's causing it. I'm trying so hard to work it out. I don't feel like it's particularly stress. I've switched mainly to decaf coffee, so I've been reducing my caffeine, trying to reduce any alcohol intake and like all those inflammatory things that I know cause it. I also went through a phase of having sweetener in my coffee, the vanilla. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know because I was talking about it. Because one of my friends introduced me to Dunkin' Donuts French vanilla Americanos, and it was like a game changer. And then I started putting sweetener and I became practically addicted to it. I couldn't have a coffee without it. And I was like, I've got to curb this habit because this is not going well. So I don't think that helped because I stopped having it. And then 2 days ago, I thought, oh, just treat yourself, just have one in one of the coffees. And I literally immediately had stomachache. And you know that's not a good sign that your body is accepting of that. So yes, I'm just sort of dealing with that, but as with autoimmune diseases, it gets really frustrating, and when it does flare up, I just feel absolutely hopeless, and I want to get really upset and angry, and I have to remind myself, like, this is just my body trying to protect me. My immune system's like a total overachiever. It's working way too hard. It's working so effectively that it's attacking itself. So I'm trying to be seeing things on the positive side. Same with my back, like, it's bad, but I can still exercise, and that wasn't the case when it initially happened. I couldn't even walk. So, you know, we've got to look for that silver lining. This really is turning into a proper TED Talk. Oh, actually, I just have so much to tell you guys and to catch up on, and I just love talking to you, but I should probably just do a YouTube live, to be honest with you. Anyway, this video is probably gonna be a bit of a vlog from the end of this week. Now, plans for the rest of the week are tomorrow, all day, I am spending it with Lizzie, and we are going to a studio space that's owned by Bulldog here, who I work with, and we are going to just film our own content there. It's just like a nice clean studio space. There's loads of equipment, plenty of space to film. They've got some stuff set up there. So we're gonna use the whole day to film some stuff, and a lot of it will just be stuff for our clients and for me, for group coaching, for example. But we're also going to try and do some little posts and stuff there, but maybe I can film a little bit while I'm there, a little bit behind the scenes. And then, to be honest with you, I don't have any huge plans for the weekend. I am pretty set to do a big old weekend of work, so if there is any work bits that I can show you, I will share them with you. So that's basically the plan. It's now, it's nearly 3:45 in the afternoon. I need to go and train, but first, I'm gonna call Mama Liz, my mum, and drop in and say hello, make sure she's all right. I'll ring my mum, let's see if she answers. I guess not. Gym time. It's 5:30 and I still haven't gone to the gym. My mum ended up ringing me back and we ended up being on the phone for an hour and a half. Crazy. So I'm eating this and then I'm going to the gym. Let's go. Friday, and I am here at a studio. I think I mentioned this yesterday that I was coming and filming with Lizzie. This is Lizzie.
Hi guys.
And we've been filming some stuff today for our own clients and some stuff together we're going to film soon. So yeah, we're just wrapped at one because it is cold again. I literally am just whinging about the weather constantly. This is so British of me. So yeah, I just thought I would check in with you guys. We're also sort of multitasking, doing bits of work on the side as well, and I'm doing check-in calls as well. So it's been a little bit manic. I just had one of these. So yummy. I'm like obsessed with Bakewell flavours, like almond and that sort of stuff at the moment. So I had one of these and I had a lemon drizzle one because that's the other thing I'm addicted to. It's like lemon. So good right now. But yeah, just thought I would update you. I'll film a few bits while we're here and just show you what we get up to. And we're going to try and do a TikTok, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to...
I've already been practicing, so...
Yeah, Lizzie's been absolutely killing it. I'm the one who's going to be letting the tunes out, for sure.
No, you'll
so
be
yeah,
great.
I'll show you the behind the scenes of that as well. All right, guys, catch you in a bit. This is basically the reality today. It's so cold that every time we shoot something, straight into a jacket. Right, I'm jumping on a check-in call now. All right, we have been here for, I think like 6 hours now. We're starting to lose our minds, and we've even resorted to making TikToks. So that's what we're doing now. So I'm gonna put you here, and you can see our attempts. So I think if you are this person, I'll be this one.
It is Monday, and the last thing I want to be doing this morning is filming, which is exactly why I'm here filming. I am not feeling too well. I had a great weekend. Saturday was great. Went and watched Josh play rugby. My mum came and watched Josh play rugby. It's the first time anyone from my family's seen him play, and we were there, and about 10 minutes later he came off because he'd cracked his forehead open, so now he's got not stitches, steri strips. But he's absolutely fine at the moment, but we didn't get to see much of him play. Typical. I've been with him for like 3 years or 3.5 years, something like that, and I think the amount of times I've seen him play rugby is about 40 minutes because he always comes off injured. It is a brutal sport, but I suppose that's the way the cookie crumbles. So anyway, I did that, and then I went out for a girls' evening with some of my friends. Went with Lizzie, Liz and Sunita, which was really nice. We went for a pizza, and then we went for a couple of drinks. My cocktail sounds really bougie. We went to a place in Nottingham called Coco Tang. It's quite popular, and they do cocktails, and I had a cocktail which was really nice. It's like a lemon caramel vibe, because I'm loving lemon at the moment, but they had a shard of caramel in it as decoration, and it had bugs in it. I took a picture because it was dark in there, and I was like, is that bugs? Because I was eating it. And then I put my torch on, I was like, oh my gosh, it actually has legs. So I'll put a picture in, but yeah. That was really good, had a great night, but I was back home and tucked up in bed by 11 o'clock. That's me in my peak 30s, wow. But anyway, on Sunday, I was having a really productive day, it was lovely weather, and then I got sick. And last night, it just kind of declined throughout the day, and then by last night, I got to 9 PM and I just crashed in bed, and literally the moment I shut my eyes, I fell asleep. I didn't wake up until gone 8 AM. I had some crazy dreams, and then I was like, oh no, I slept in, but I felt awful this morning. Oh, hey Hugo. Hey Papa, how are you? I'm just gonna sit there, okay. So yeah, I woke up this morning. I'm actually feeling a little bit better this morning, but last night I felt atrocious. So yeah, what was the point of this? Oh, my psoriasis. So when I get sick, I likely will get a psoriasis flare-up. I'm gonna keep an eye on Hugo there, because no doubt he'll start cleaning his butt like a cat does. Right in the background. He does this every time. I don't know why, but you do, don't you? His face says it all. He's like, just wait until you're not watching, Mum. But my skin, yeah, my skin has flared up a little bit. I don't think it ever really shows up on camera, but all around my eyebrows, yeah, I literally have nothing on my face, not even moisturizer. I get it all around my ear here. It comes up on my neck on here, and then it's all down here and on my eye up here. I'm just like, this feels like it has been going on for so long. I think I mentioned that it's been flaring up and down since April, and I really just can't pinpoint what it is. Like, I always say to myself, I think I have a pretty good understanding of my body, my routines, what affects it, what doesn't, and being able to manage those variables. But because it's been going up and down for so long, I am just at a loss of what it is. And what I could easily do is start to limit what I do, what I eat, what I drink, where I go, because I'm thinking those variables are having an effect on it. And I end up feeling like I'm just not doing anything enjoyable or living my life because of my psoriasis. So I'm really mindful to not let that happen, because it's a piece of advice that my mum gave me once, and that was, she basically said to me, life must go on, and this was in terms of depression and some anxiety over antidepressants that I was taking, because you're not meant to drink when you're on antidepressants, and I had hypochondria and health anxiety, so that was like doubled the fact that I was so worried it was gonna have an effect. And my mum was like, do you want a small glass of wine? I was like, I can't because I'm on, and she was like, life must go on, you'll be fine. And I always use that for basically any situation where I'm overthinking it, I'm stressed, or I'm thinking that what I'm doing might have an influence on it. It's like, if everything's in moderation, you know, life must go on. Have a coffee, don't restrict everything you're eating because you think it might be having an inflammatory effect. You know, don't go out with your friends on a night out if you want, you know, and forgo a little bit of sleep, even though I didn't. So there's that thing. And then I always come back to the other piece of advice that I always give people, because I feel like it would be pot to kettle black if I didn't actually take that advice myself. And that is, with an autoimmune disease, my body is just trying to protect me. And although I can get really annoyed at it for flaring up, and especially when I try to manage it really well, my immune system is basically an overachiever. It's just working too damn hard to look after my body, so much so that it's actually attacking itself. So I'm trying to remember that my body is just trying to protect me, it's trying to look out for me. So getting angry and stressed is just not going to be a helpful thing to do, even though it is very tempting. That being said, it's like a quote that I have on my phone, and it says, guilt and stress will do far more damage than chocolate cake will ever do. And that's obviously in relation to fat loss. But it's just so true in life, isn't it? It's like what we actually get stressed and worried about and feel guilty about and shame about, that emotion causes so much more stress and damage than actually just doing that thing in the first place. Sometimes it really is just about balance, isn't it? And the more you restrict sometimes, the more stress or frustration you feel, and that has an impact on your body. So okay, I'm waffling now. Okay, anyway, the reason I came on here is because I was just basically saying hello. I was going to show you my skin because I think it's important that I share this stuff, because I know a lot of people suffer with eczema, psoriasis, autoimmune diseases, all sorts of skin conditions, etc., etc. It happens, and you're not alone, is essentially what I wanted to say. And yes, I feel frustrated. Yes, I want to cry about it. Am I going to? Maybe, but not today. Not today. Today, I'm gonna have a productive day, even though I look like this and I feel like poop. So what is the actual plan today? I think I'm just gonna work. I've had a super productive week last week, super productive, feeling really good. I've got so many things to work on, so I need to work on one thing at a time, but I think I'm going to be at my computer basically all day doing group coaching setups, all the webinars and all the slideshows for that, and all the back end of it, so the stuff that no one sees, the systems essentially. And then I've got a load of online coaching podcasts, like mini podcasts, that I want to film, but I'm going to speak to my girls about that before for topics. And although I don't know whether I should be filming with a raspy voice like this, I don't know, maybe it adds a little bit of pizzazz. And then I also need to upload some more of the lower body exercises for the app program and my website. I basically finished my website this weekend, and then I was looking at it this morning on my morning walk, and I was like, oh, there's so many things that are just niggling at me that I need to fix. So that is the plan today. It's literally just going to be a day solid of work. I probably won't exercise other than just walking because I'm knackered and I just don't feel like it. Anyway, I have been talking way too long, so let's get sorted and get ourselves to work. Ooh, one more thing I wanted to show you, because I always get questions what books I'm reading. I bought some new books recently, so I got this one. I just picked these ones up because they were at the front of Waterstones and they looked interesting. So The Rules of Everything. Basically, this is a complete code for success and happiness and everything that matters. Basically, it's all his books, Richard Templer's books, summarized in 10 key points. It was okay. It was an easy read. It took me like a week. And that was just in the mornings. I read like a little bit in the mornings. I did a morning routine if you want to see how I do that. So I finished that. That one's done. I would like 5 out of 10 recommend. It was quite motivating, but also it was fun. This one I've been reading for a while. I am that far into it, as in just this bit, but it is a big book. It's like 700 and something pages. Yeah, 718. I had to stop reading it for a little while because honestly, I was just finding it a little bit depressing, and I know that's kind of the whole point of this book, but I was just like, I just need something a little bit more uplifting, just for a little while, a little bit more motivating, but I will come back to this, definitely. It's like a good, I was gonna say it's a good holiday book. It's probably not a good holiday book if you want something uplifting, but it's meant to be one of the most amazing books, and I bought it on a whim and everyone on my Instagram was like, oh my gosh, this book is amazing. So I do want to finish it at some point, but that one's on hold at the moment. And I just started this one, which is If in Doubt, Wash Your Hair by Anya Hindmarch. So Anya Hindmarch owns a handbag company, I believe, and this is basically her advice. I started reading it 2 mornings ago and I'm already nearly halfway through. Really easy to read. I have been really getting into these like women's advice books. I don't know why, it's at the front of my Waterstones, so I keep seeing them, and they're just nice, short, easy to read books, and I like the way they're written, like it's just like talking to a friend. And if there's one thing about me, as you can tell from this video, I can talk, and I can talk, and I can talk, and I can talk. So I love those kind of things, just listening to people's experiences and advice. She is a mum of 5 kids, so a lot of it is parenting related, but you can still get a lot out of it. Obviously I don't have kids other than this little Hugo, other than this loving child of mine, Hugo. Yeah, that's about as much love as I get from him, unless I have kibble in my hand. But yeah, that's what I've been reading recently. I think I'm going to start reading a bit more science stuff because I miss it, and yeah, I've been sort of thinking about studying again in the future and what I'd potentially study. I don't know, watch this space. But anyway, at the moment, work. Hello, so same day, it's now the evening, and I was already craving chicken soup for the last few days, but I was moseying through town and I saw a recipe book. I opened it and I literally opened it bang smack on a chicken soup page, and now my mind is set. I must have chicken soup. I tried to pick up all the ingredients I needed on the way home, but I couldn't really find any. A lot of the shops in my local area are really low on veggies for the last like month or so. So you go in and there's really not a lot to choose from. So I'm gonna try and make do with what I have. So it's gonna be a bit of a hodgepodge of random stuff, and I'm also gonna put dumplings in it. Now, I had a video, it was my weight loss routine video, that had a Moroccan chicken soup recipe in it, which is really good. This is not too dissimilar in terms of it's got chicken, it's got veggies, it's gonna have dumplings. Now in that video, I forgot to show the process of how I made the dumplings. I'm gonna make them slightly different today, so we'll see how we go, but the process should be pretty similar. So if you're wondering how I made those dumplings, it will be in tonight's soup. Fingers crossed they work out fine. It'll be fine, it'll be okay. Also, I've had to go for a full chicken rather than chicken drumsticks, which is what I use usually, because they didn't have any. So I'm going to roast up the full chicken, shred it, put it into the soup, veggies, veggie stock or chicken stock, whatever I can find, and then dumplings. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, let's go. One is just never enough. A load of boiling water. Usually the chicken would already be boiling, like I would cook it with the chicken water, but because that's not happening today, I'm just gonna boil this up. A little bit of salt. Oh, a lot of salt. A little bit of pepper. I also nearly forgot a stock cube, so that is going in. I only had beef. I almost forgot about the most crucial part, the dumplings. I'm gonna make those now. Let's see if I can find my scales. So, super easy. You're gonna have to deal with this like cut off shot of me, if I can get my words out. So, you meant to sieve this, but we haven't got time for that. Well, we definitely do, but I'm not going to. We're gonna do 200 grams of self-raising flour, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, some chili flakes. I literally just add in whatever I fancy. I do love chili though, so chili flakes. And I'm thinking some oregano. I usually just open up the herbs, give them a sniff, and then decide which one I fancy. And then to this, we're gonna add 120 milliliters of warm, lukewarm water. And then basically you should have a little bit of a dough. cut it up into around 12 balls, I reckon. And then just roll them. And then they'll be ready to go. Okay, my broccoli is basically disintegrated, but that's okay. It's like a green soup. Now we're gonna add the dumplings, and literally all I'm gonna do is just pop them in. So you need to make sure that your soup is boiling, and then voila, your soup is done. Gosh, that one's puffed up so much already. Honestly guys, if you could smell how good this smells. I mean, it just smells like pure garlic, but if you love garlic like me, oh, so good. Alright, soup is done, and in the recipe book that I saw the chicken soup in today, he actually served it with, it was a Jamie Oliver recipe book by the way, he actually served it with Coleman's mustard on the side, and I haven't had this in a long time. And I thought, that sounds quite nice. However, I remember this being quite hot, so I'm going to try some and see. I'm going to go for a little bit, just play it safe. Well, it's not as bad as I remember. I might put a little bit on the side. I actually used to put like smoked paprika on top, so if I've got some of that I might put some of that and maybe this. I don't care. I'm a sauce girl, I just mix it all up, so we will see. I'm actually currently making some food for Josh. So he isn't well either, and he's currently in bed. He's not gonna have the soup, I mean he might have some soup, but he's gonna have some mince wraps because he needs a little bit more food than me. He's playing rugby quite regularly and he's a big guy, so he needs more food, so he's gonna have some of that. And because I'm having soup, I also picked up some chips. If you don't know, because you're not from England or you've not been to England, so they're cooked in lard, I believe, and they're so delicious. So I've got chips with vinegar and scraps. Not a traditional pairing with chicken soup, but I feel like I am the weirdest eater anyway. And there you go, this is my soup. Oh, I'm so excited for it. I'm so glad I chose to make this. And just in case you're wondering what it looks like, this is what chips and a battered sausage looks like. Oh, so good. So yeah, I'm gonna go and wake up Josh. He's gonna make his food. I'm gonna eat this. And I think I'm going to sign off this video. Hopefully next time I see you, I will be looking a little bit less blotchy. Fingers crossed, we will see. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys very, very shortly. Say goodbye, Hugo.